Who doesn't want to hook people's attention when it comes to photography? Well, of course, I want to do that. And I'm delighted that Melissa's going to share these 10 tips to get you started. A shorter session than most, but still jam-packed full of value. I hope you enjoy this session. Let's go, Melissa.
Hi, and welcome to 10 photo tips to stand out and shine on social media. I am so excited to be here, and thank you for being here. Let's jump right in. So first up, I want to talk to you about the why and what to expect. For the why do we want better content on social media? Number one, it establishes authority. It feels more personal. And then, of course, the big one, it grabs attention. We know that there's so much out there on social media that grabbing immediate attention is going to make your content stand out from your competitors. And then the what to expect, I'm going to give you 10 tips. I'm going to give you actionable tips that you can use today. You don't have to go out and buy the best of the best camera or lighting equipment or anything like that. I'm going to show you things that you can do today with what you have. Just a phone, basically. But first, hi, I'm Melissa. Nice to meet you. I help creative entrepreneurs produce better content so they can create more and be on social media less. Isn't that ideal? I've been a professional photographer for over 20 years. 18 of those years I've been self-employed. I am a burlesque performer in my spare time. I'm a huge fan of true crime podcasts, self-care, all the good podcast recommendations send my way, please. I love rainbows, cats, murals, craft beer. That's kind of just me in a nutshell. Also, something I'm very proud of, I grew my Instagram account to over 10,000 in just 8 months. So I have a lot of knowledge about Instagram, and I consider myself an Instagram expert and social media coach. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Why wait? Tip number one, let's talk about lighting. Lights, camera, action. There's a reason that lighting is listed first in this old trope, because lighting is the most important thing in photography, hands down. Bad lighting can really kill a picture, and it's not something that you can just Photoshop or you can edit out. So finding the ideal lighting first thing when you take the photos is really going to make your pictures stand out. So for example, the picture on the left with the big red X, that is me standing with the main light source behind me. In this situation, the main light source is the sun. I am out on my front porch. I am in open shade, so a shaded area, but with a large light source coming in. Now, I flipped around to the one on the right with a big check mark, and that is, it's direct lighting, but within open shade, so I don't have a lot of the shadows that the sun's going to give me. And this is going to be your cleanest, most ideal lighting. This is just the very basics of lighting 101. And I'm going to show you next how to find that lighting with this like fun little tip that I actually do use on my professional shoots. Just want to show you a little trick that I use to test the light when I'm not totally sure of the lighting situation, and I want to find the brightest area and the most clean area. So I hold the palm of my hand in front of my face. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. There I am. And I'm going to turn it in a circle and look at how the light plays off the palm of my hand. You can see that is getting better. It's pretty much ideal, clean, flat lighting. I'm almost in a full circle now. You see how dark it is, dark, backlit, that is good. So that is a trick. Literally just walk it like this. And watch how the light plays off your hand. Just want to show you a little trick that I use to test the light. Let's dive into tip number two now that we've mastered lighting. So I'm not going to go into the scientific definition of depth of field, also known as aperture. You can Google that if you really care. But basically, it's when the background appears blurrier or not. It has a lot of different things, factors into it, depending on how far you are from the subject, how far your subject is from the background, what your aperture is set to. There's a lot of in-depth things that I went to college for, or you can Google, but I just want to talk about the basics. The easiest way to obtain this depth of field look, specifically with like a phone, is to pull the subject away from the background. So in the left one, I'm further, this is an old picture of me, but I'm further from the wall. Granted, the photographer is a little closer to me, so that helps with the appearance of the background looking blurrier. but I'm closer to the wall in the picture on the right-hand side, and you can see how much more in focus the wall is. So like I said, if you want to achieve this little bit of a blurry look, because it really does look more professional in photos, then just pull the subject, or pull yourself as the subject, away from the wall, and you'll have an easier time obtaining this depth of field look. That's just a super basic overview of depth of field. Again, it goes way deeper, and we can talk about that more offline if you'd like. Tip number 3, let's talk about the front camera versus the back camera. So disclaimer, I have not looked at every spec for every camera out there on the market. I personally have an iPhone 13 Pro, but in general, what I found is the front-facing camera is a better camera than the selfie camera, the back camera. So I think what's happening now in the market is that the camera companies, Apple, Samsung, whatever, are realizing that people are doing a lot more talking to the camera with the selfie facing. So they are now making them the same megapixels, but in the past it hasn't been that way. I know in the past for the iPhones, the front facing camera has been 12 megapixels, the back has been 7. I think they're both 12 now in the newer models. Regardless, it's just a superior camera overall. Again, it's actually also 3 cameras with a new iPhone, but again, not trying to make this an hour-long session. The front camera also shoots wider, and I will show you that in the next slide. And also the front-facing camera has you can use a higher aperture. So that is when you actually go in and change the settings. The automatic settings not going to change the aperture for you. It's going to find the best in auto mode. But if you want to play around with aperture inside your camera, the front-facing camera is going to have a lot wider options for you. And this is true for videos too, by the way. The front-facing camera does higher quality video than the selfie camera. So this was just a really quick shot that I took. This just shows the difference with the one on the left is the selfie camera, the one where you can see yourself. The one on the right is the front-facing camera. It's actually should be switched, but you get it. So it is a little bit wider. You can capture a little bit more without having to use the 0.5 mode. So again, I'm an iPhone user. That's what I know. I don't have a lot of Android people in my life. I think most creatives use iPhone, but don't come after me if your phone is equally perfect both ways. All right, tip number 4. First thing we're gonna do is find a photo that we want that is a live photo, that was taken as a live photo. You can't revert photos to live photos. They have to be taken that way. And you go up to the upper right and you click edit. You go to the bottom left where it says live. You click that. And then now you can move this slider to find the perfect frame that you like best. So if you're a big blinker, this is a great option. I think I'm going to let's just pick that one. And then make key photo. And then all of a sudden it's basically like the cover of that live photo. You click done, and there you go. You have the exact moment in the photo that you want.
Let us know you're enjoying this session by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to leave a comment. The speakers will check out the comments. Thank you.
I used to despise live mode, but because it used to move the photo, but now I love it because this way I can move around when I once taking my photo, I can move around and then I can go back and pick which clip I think that looks best to me. So I highly recommend shooting everything in live mode. This is a photo I took at a wedding last week, and it's a nice photo. iPhone actually does a really great job of shooting backlight now. That's a whole different story. We're just going to click edit on the top right, and then I'm going to click auto. And it really just made it pop. It made the blues bluer. It really made the greens greener. You can even adjust the auto to brighten it depending on your vibe or take it down a little bit, but the auto mode just does pretty decent. I'm not going to get into the major editing. That's a whole different, I could do a whole class just on that. But if you want to straighten it out, I'm a big fan of horizon lines being straight. So make sure that your horizon lines are good. You click done. There you go. So most phones have this basic photo editing built in. You don't have to get another app. There are a lot of apps out there. I know Photoshop and Lightroom are probably the most popular and most professional. I think Lightroom even has a pretty robust free version of it, but you have to know how to use it. But yeah, you can get PicMonkey, or I've used Snapseed in the past. So yeah, there's lots of different options out there, but this is just in camera without getting any other app or paying for another app. Let's talk about posing a little bit. So posing is one thing that people always struggle with. What do I do with my hands, and how do I look, and how do I know what my face looks like? But this is my number one tip, is just practice. Get to know your body, get to know how your body moves. Everybody's different. Everybody likes different smiles on themselves. So just try different things. And if you don't like how that picture came out of you, it never has to see the light of day. That's the great thing. Just delete it and move on. But this way, when you practice different smiles, practice in the mirror, you'll know what you like on your face. And so then you can feel more confident in front of the camera on how to move your body. Also, using props is super fun. They add to the picture, but it also makes you feel a little more comfortable because it gives you something to do with your hands. This is a branding client of mine who is a mural artist, and she likes to use a lot of props with her branding photos: paintbrushes, paint cans. These are rolls of backdrop paper. So this was just a shoot that we did recently where she incorporated props. So a coffee mug is also a really popular prop, or something that has to do with your business. Bringing in a laptop, if you work on the computer a lot. If you're a photographer like me, using your camera, it gives your hands something to do, and you feel more confident in photos. And then one more nope, sorry, got a couple more, but this is one more with Phoebe here. Um, Keep in mind that whatever is closest to the camera is gonna appear larger. So this was the best picture I could find. So these two disco balls are obviously the same size, but the one in front is a lot larger because it's perspective and it's closer to the lens. So for example, if you want your body to look smaller, then you can move your head forward and keep your body back. If you want your body to look larger, more intimidating, you move your body forward, your head back. So anything that is going to be closer to the lens is going to be larger. So this is just a fun little behind the scenes. I'm a wedding photographer, and I took this behind the scenes shot of the couple walking down the aisle, and I wanted to show you I was able to grab this screenshot from this video. So you can see that it is a great still shot as well, but it's literally just a screenshot. There you go, right there. Super easy. So take video of yourself moving around, prop your camera up, turn your video on, turn in cinematic mode if you want some depth of field, and move around and stop and pose. That way, when you go back and look at the video, you're like, oh, I really like that. Take a screenshot, maybe throw some editing in it, do some auto editing on it. There you go. It's good enough for the internet. I wouldn't say you could print this out and blow it up on your wall, but it's good enough for the internet. All right, tip number 7. This is more of an Instagram tip, less of a photography tip, because horizontal and vertical in photography, just a preference, doesn't really matter. When I do branding shoots, I would say 90% of my images are vertical, the one on the left, and that is for one reason, is because they're likely going to be for Instagram. So when you are scrolling on Instagram, Instagram tells if your content is interesting by how long people look at it. So when you're doom scrolling on Instagram, it takes you a little bit, just milliseconds longer to scroll past a vertical image, right? Because it's longer. So because of those tiny milliseconds, Instagram is going to think that your vertical image is more interesting and more important. So, like I said, this is a very minor Instagram tip that has to do with photography too. So, I would say preference vertical images on Instagram over horizontal if you can. It's not always doable. I don't always do it 100% of the time, but that is my little Instagram tip for you. All right,
Just gonna use
number
the same
8.
photo because there's a lot of movement in it, but I'm gonna upload this to my stories. And you can't see me, but I'm holding a single finger down on the image, and it all of a sudden turns into a boomerang. If you go to the top and see the infinity symbol, which is the boomerang symbol, you can also actually slow it down. which I kind of like. Tends to be my favorite, the slow-mo. You can even crop it as much as you need. You can do echo, which has a little blur to it. Duo does it twice. This is just the standard boomerang, and then if you want to turn it off, you can do that as well. So this is an option for turning a live photo directly into boomerang in Instagram specifically. This is a great option on Instagram because Instagram wants you to use different features. They like you to use all the features of Instagram. So just instead of using a static photo for your stories or a video, you can actually use a boomerang, and it changes it up and makes your stories a little more interesting. This is just a really close-up of my laptop. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to go to the little sticker guy up top, and I'm going to find where it says cutouts. Right under here under avatar, cutouts. And then I'm going to find a picture that I want to make a cutout. I'm going to choose that one. It's going to automatically outline it for me. I'm going to use sticker. And then now I can use this on any story that I want as a cutout, a little sticker of myself. If I want to side-eye something, it's always going to live here. Let me discard this. It's always going to live here in my cutouts. You can actually do this with a video as well. I'll show you how. Same idea. You pick a short video that you want, and it creates a little GIF for you. I'm going to shorten this one because I don't need the whole thing. I'm going to click next. It's going to process it and cut it out. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to create the sticker, give it a few seconds, and it's going to load. And I have a GIF of myself throwing smiley faces. And again, I can put this on any story. Once you do this once, it lives here in the cutouts. And it'll keep putting them more and more. So you can reuse these. That's kind of fun, right? Make it bigger. And yeah, that was me laughing at myself. You can totally laugh at me too. But this is a great option to stand out on Instagram stories because a lot of people don't know that this option is available, and it's personalized, and people will hopefully contact you and be like, hey, teach me how to do this. And that starts a conversation in the DMs. So lots of great things can come out of using these Instagram stickers. Let's talk about profile pictures. All right. So this is my profile picture on Instagram. Not quite this one, but a similar one. So this is a picture I like of myself. I had just gotten my hair dyed. Missed that hair so much. And it's a pretty photo. There's some depth of field. There's a little bit of pop of yellow in the back, but it's not, it could be better. So what I did is I took it into Canva, and I used Canva to cut it out. Could have done this also done this on Instagram in the stories with the cutout that I just showed you, and created one from there and screenshot it, but I happen to do this one in Canva. So if you have Canva Pro, you can do a background remover, which is what I did for this. So I remove the background, and now I have this nice cutout photo of myself, but I need a background so I can put it as a profile photo. So I picked a really bright, fun color. I picked yellow because I think yellow is so sunny and happy and joyous, which is what I want to come across to my potential clients and to my followers. And it's also attention grabbing. So if you look at these three photos, which one captures your attention the most? Probably most of our eyes go all the way to the right because it is a bright color. There's lots of bright colors going on in the photo, but the background really draws your eye in. So you can easily do this with any photo, even if it's a selfie. It doesn't have to be a professional photo. This is actually not the most professionally lit photo. It's direct sun. I have some shadows on my face. It's just a really nice photo I like of myself. And so using this background color pop is going to make people's eyes draw directly to your page. So if your small icon is on a list of people, it's going to draw your eye. It's going to draw their eye to you. Or use one of your branding colors. You don't have to use yellow necessarily. If blue or red or green is your branding color, use that, and it's cohesive within your branding. So I hope that you found some usefulness in this presentation. I hope you learned something new. If you didn't, that's okay. I still had fun. But this is how you can reach me. You can follow me on Instagram, melissamcclure.co.
Also, I'm offering a really special thing for y'all. If you sign up for my email list, I will send you a personalized Instagram audit. Like, I will literally sit down and look at your Instagram and give you 3 tips on what you can do to be seen. I'll give you content tips, photo critiques if you want them, if you opt into them. So it's worth $75. I typically charge $75 for this, so it is actually worth a lot. I only do this for very special summits that I am part of. So yeah, if you opt in using this QR code, you can, and then you have to fill out a form. So I have your information, and then I will personally email you an audit with my own eyes on your Instagram account. So I hope you follow me. If you follow me, shoot me a message, say hi, I'll follow you back. I'm so thrilled that you spent the last 20 minutes with me, and I hope we get to know each other on Instagram soon. Bye.
And that's it. The session is done. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course comment on the video. It really is appreciated to see all the engagement that we get alongside these videos. And of course, if you want to continue to watch these videos after the 48 hours of Creator Day, you can sign up for the Creator Meetup. The link is in the description, as well as the coupon code, and you can go and grab all of the replays and join us for our monthly networking and the other various activities that happen inside of the Creator Meetup. Thank you so much for the speakers, and we'll see you in the next session.